Yo, what's up, guys? Just want to make this video for you, and I want to talk about keeping it real. You got to keep it real, bro. And most people do not keep it real because keeping it real has a heavy price to it. If you keep it real in today's world, you are going to be hated. You're going to be excluded. You're going to be othered, and people are not going to want to be your friend. People are going to slander you. They're going to gossip about you, and they're going to try to do crazy things to try to hold you back in life. This is why it is difficult to keep it real. But as children of God, as chosen ones, we don't have a choice. We cannot betray ourselves to get on the beaten path. Most people are on the beaten path in life. They're not living the life that they're supposed to. They're living the life that they were programmed to live. Either they grew up in homes where their parents told them, you got to be a doctor, you got to be this, you got to be that. And they didn't have will. They didn't have the will to really decide what they wanted to do. Some of these people wanted to be artists, they wanted to make music, they wanted to be actors, but they didn't have the will or that connection with God to be like, no, I'm gonna follow my own journey in life. Nah, they just did what they were told to do. And most people are like that. And when people like us walk into a room, we are a threat to them because it's like we're a mirror. We are reflecting their flaws back at them. We are the type of people that we have that connection with God. We have that discipline, we have that drive. And because of that, we chase after great things. This might sound a little bit arrogant, but most people are not like that. Most people will hate us for that because most people in this world are lazy, they are weak, they are cowardly, they like to gossip, they're very passive aggressive. And throughout the years, I've been through a whole bunch of social events, like these meetups, these Facebook groups, these Eventbrite thing sort of events. And I can honestly tell you that the majority of people that I've met over the years, like hundreds of people, a lot of them, most of them are some of the fakest people that I've ever met. It's like the people of this world, they like to play power games. They like to be weird. They like to play these subtle games where they'll patronize you in the way that they talk to you. They'll kind of like put their hand on your shoulder. They'll deliberately ignore you to try to make you feel excluded, to try to make you feel like they don't want to talk to you. But the reality of the situation is you are a threat to most people. If you carry the light of God and you carry that authenticity, most people in this world are not going to like you. They are going to hate you because you make them feel insecure. It's just who you are. It's not because you did anything wrong to them. It's not because you said anything wrong. Just your presence alone is going to irritate a lot of people. And this is why people like us, we don't have friends. This is why it's hard for us to date. A lot of us were single. We don't have a woman in our life. And the reason why is because we can see through the facade. You look at modern women, you look at dating, and it's like women today are highly narcissistic. They like to play these power games of like, one day they'll make you act like they're interested, the next day they'll be cold, then the next day they'll act like they're interested again. And it's kind of like they want you to chase after them. But as mature men of God, we don't do that. We don't want to chase after people that are not interested in us. We believe that love should be a two-way street, not some one-sided thing. It's like that with friendships. A lot of these people, they want to have one-sided friendships. They want to have people that they can talk down on, people that they can abuse. And that's not us. We don't feel the need to abuse other people or put other people down to elevate ourselves. We get our elevation from our work, the discipline that we put in, us chasing our goals, our relationship with the Most High. These people don't have that. So in order to make themselves feel good, they have to get together in a group. It's like the narcissists. They're like wolves. They run in packs. They have to get together in a gang, and they got to gang up against the chosen one. They have to gang up on you and try to smear you, try to, paint you out in this negative light. They want to say that you're the narcissist, that you're the bad guy because they can't control you. They want to call you that because you make them feel insecure without saying a word. And because of that, being real and keeping it real in this world will carry that heavy cost. You will face a lot of rejection. You will face that exclusion, but just know that it is worth it, because you have to walk through the wilderness before you get blessed. You have to go through these trials. You have to face exclusion. You have to face that sort of social persecution, people not wanting to be your friends, but it's going to be rewarding if you stay on your purpose, if you take advantage of this isolation to build yourself up, to create your story, to write a book, to create music, to sort of start a business or create your art, to tell the tale of a story of a light in a dark world. You will thrive and you will prosper, but you got to keep your faith alive. Your faith is going to be tested, man. You're not going to have many friends. You're going to be very lonely, but you have to keep your faith alive. This is why it's important to have a relationship with God. A lot of people don't like talking about God in this world. They like to think that they are good enough to accomplish things on their own, but you can't fight the darkness on your own. You need to have the light of God within you, and if you have his light, you will accomplish great things. So keep your faith alive, keep your authenticity alive, and don't sell out to try to be friends with a bunch of wolves in sheep's clothing. Don't sell out to try to be friends with a bunch of people that pretend to be your friend and hate you. Keep it real and you will thrive. Hope you guys like this video. I'm out.